Patriots, welcome back to Around the Horn. You know, I love doing this because you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes of what is Businesses for Liberty like. We get to hang out. We get to talk about business. We get to talk about liberty. And I'm so delighted to have Susan Hamilton with OBBM Network TV. Thanks for doing this, Susan.
Hey, thank you so much for introducing me to your wonderful people. I believe that our local communities are so valuable and have the answers. Susan doesn't have the answers to how we need to solve all these world's problems, but you do. And that collective ability to have great communication and understand what those values are and to live this life in a very principled manner is going to make all the difference in the world because we're setting examples wherever we go. So thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me share what we're doing at OBBM Network TV. So I'm going to do a little screen share and show your team what we're doing, and I'm going to start from, let me see, screen one over here. We're going to start from our home page. Can you see?
Yes.
Wonderful. So start in, we've got about 18 channels. I'm pretty sure we have 18, might be 23 up here in the DFW area right now. But one thing you'll see on our home channel that's going to be very similar to our states page is when you saw NBC, ABC, and CBS go into communities, did you notice that they all told you the same dang thing? And they all came in and told you the exact same thing and told you it was different media. We decided to form the Liberty Media Alliance with two other networks, and we have 24/7 streams that reach our national programs. But that's not the only way that you can search for through OBBM Network TV, so you can find your city and state. This is all about local, and this is all about making sure we're featuring the community members where they are. I urge everybody to take just a minute. As a matter of fact, I don't know if the audio is going to be great on this Zoom call, but to take a minute and watch this program right here and this one, who we are and why we need to go to local cities. Someone had asked me in the chat earlier, what does OBBM stand for? When we started in the production line, and Offbeat Business Media was find your rhythm in the marketplace. So that's what that stands for. And when we were networking, it was easy to use the acronym. So we'd tell everybody, well, you know, OBBM Network. So when we decided to go into distribution, it was kind of natural because this is our backyard where we built our brand in the DFW area. But we realized that we needed to do a better job of getting out and into this community. And right now, we've got all these live streaming channels that actually are local content, local advertisers, local candidates. I think Mr. LeBlanc and I will have a lot to talk about. It's so important to get behind people that can run because they and educate them, my friends. That was our job, to educate them how to actually hold their position. They don't know, and they can't tell the difference often between what is outside of the Constitution and what's the proper way to run this thing. And part of that is because of our regional governance. And regional governments, we're not going to be able to do anything about until we go local, folks. But they take over the policies for local communities and supersede. We can do a better job. So on our homepage, for instance, you're going to be able to see some of the great shows. You can always hit the view all and check out some of the brand names that you'll see here, but then all the channels. I'm excited to share the movies and documentaries that we offer. We carry all of the First Amendment Film Festival programs, all the indie producers. So you're going to be able to find that content here. And that also includes things like Died Suddenly, Killing Ed. If you wanted to understand a little bit more about the real school choice issues, that is brilliant to watch that program. We've got channels starting in Alaska, and we've got some really wonderful national brands that are helping us grow. We are 100% funded by our local communities and by the business community. As we kind of roll through here, as you can see, our San Diego channels, before we go 24/7, just like Greenville, we just have the one area with several, and I'm about to click into them. But do you see the difference here? Some are streaming, some are not. Okay, on these programs. The difference is whether or not we have somebody in your area that's actually doing the work. And with two business advertisers, we can afford to hire somebody to come in and actually do the scheduling for that. And you can have a 24/7 channel that reflects the voice of your community. And we can build these anywhere. So when we come on over here to what we're finding in South Carolina, we decided to work with Eric and Jimmy and start building up Greenville. And before we go there, I wanted you to notice right here. Do you see where my cursor is? So you'll be able to search through shows. And we offer just amazing programs that, for instance, Motorcycle Mayhem, reaching into Greenville, Carolina, Forgotten History. This right here, this Forgotten History is super fun. What you really need to check that out. Some of these programs are absolutely amazing. About 80% of the content that we offer on OBBM Network TV is because we had this production content. We had this, and it was just time to start streaming that and get it out and get it in front of people. But about 80% of it is studio quality, Disney quality movies. But to reach our local communities, we need you. We need your voice. And not everybody can afford to get out into the studio. So we teach you how to have a great remote show. We're bringing on a new cooking show. We're bringing on some really really fabulous lineups, everything from business coaching to education to local candidates. And this program on changing the conversation on abortion is really, really fantastic. You can also search this site through the genres. Different business programmings, comedy. I'm bringing a whole lot more comedy on board. Documentaries are amazing. Our lifestyle programs, we've got stuff in here your teenagers are going to love. And all of this content, when we are on our 24/7 streaming channels, this content is running regularly in a stream. So I think you're really going to take a look at this and see this is an example of what our communities look like when they work. You'll really enjoy some of this stuff with TV for Dads. Amazing content, and these young ladies are really amazing. So let me go back over here to our to Greenville and show you what we're working on there because we've just started it. And I need more content, Eric, and more content, Jimmy, and more content, Mark 37. You guys are fantastic. But check out how this all works. Right now, before we have anybody over there that is actually scheduling your content, which we teach how to do all of those things, you start coming in with the 3 national channels, but pretty soon you're going to have a 24/7 channel right here. We carry national advertisers that can really make a difference from education, campaign management, to just all kinds of things. The more I know about you and the more you're connected with Eric and Jimmy, the more we're going to be able to put your brands in here as well. And it's going to be really, really important. As far as Businesses for Liberty, woohoo, there you are.
I know that group.
Yeah, here's your group. And so every time he puts something out, I go and I take these and make sure that they go up and I create your thumbnail. So I wanted you to know something. When you go in and check this out, guys, when you get a video with Eric, get him a headshot. Get him a headshot so I have a great picture to work with, okay? Because I'm your girl and I want you to have a really great brand that you're proud of. And if I'm just grabbing it, we are swamped around here. We are Skeleton Crew. And right now it is us building this in that area. So I'm just taking a screen picture, but I can do a better job on these for you if I've got a better, like I've got his picture. I need yours. I need your picture to be able to do that. But I also want to show you what it looks like just to have a streaming channel. Dallas, for instance. So in Houston, we carry the symphony, the Houston Symphony North. In our Florida channels, we carry high school sports. I want to know the producers in your community. Some of these shows are amazing. On each one of these, we're going to be carrying your city council meetings, school board meetings, county commissioners meetings, so people can find everything that they want in their one location, bringing back your First Amendment. And if you've got a church that actually is teaching people that you're finding value with, I need to know about it. We can carry your church stream as well. And a 24/7 schedule that includes Sunday. So we would love to have that. Just know this can get really, really full of wonderful professional content that can put add value to the entire thing that is going on in Greenville. Everything from this program here is a couple ladies that are ending up in Texas, in the Texas legislature on the regular, helping them understand what the language actually means. That because we don't even know what are these connections with school choice? Don't we all want it? We all want school choice, don't we? Unless you understand what that means. That means the government's coming right into your, as a matter of fact, in Missouri and Tennessee, they are already doing background checks. How's that for interesting? For grandma, if you're if you're coming into the house. So I don't know, is this a conservative value? Well, it's going to have to be up to us to really decide that. So just know this is what we're doing. Um, when you've got smaller pieces, for instance, this particular video here showcases a lady that I found 11 years ago. It was 2011. I think that's, yeah, 2011. These people are working right now in government. And they knew then, and they admitted at that point, that they knew full well that the United Nations was running their local community through the councils of government and taking over the policies that were meant to be ours, to be elected in. And they're still running today, telling us, hey, we just couldn't get it done. And I call foul. We can get behind candidates in a very affordable way where they can put their videos out here and let us know what's going on in your community. So with that, if you've got any questions, I'd love to hear it. But we want to build up your channel and really bring the best of your people in your community, reflecting your voice, your city council, your the way you want to get things done. What's going on? What is the talk on property out there these days? Everybody wants to know. What is it? What's the truth? You guys know it. And if you start speaking it, well, we'll share it. And we can't wait to do it. We want to hear your voice. We are looking actively for your shows, and we're looking actively for your brands because we're 100% funded by the local community in that area. Businesses can advertise on OBBM Network TV for as little as $150 a month. That is crazy for television. And you'll be able, and I'm not going in there and just taking it off you actually until we kind of build our crew up a little bit bigger, about like you are. We're working our tail off to make sure we're advertising and reaching out into our community. So it's a pretty great value right now, especially. So did you guys have any questions or anything or feedback for me? How can I make this awesome for you?
How do we get a hold of you? Do you have an email?
I do. Susan at obbmnetwork.tv.
Okay, I'm never going to remember that. Wait a minute.
Okay. Would you like me to put it in your chat?
I would appreciate
I
that
can
like you
do
would
it.
not believe.
I can do it.
Absolutely
Yeah.
outstanding work. Beautiful, nicely done. Very thorough. I love the programs that educate you on the reality of what's going on.
I'm easy to reach. Eric is learning how to be your ambassador up there. So if you've got ideas and you've got things that you want to see, make sure he knows about it. If you've got other businesses that can join Eric and Jimmy and us, bring them on, guys, because our local communities are built. This whole thing started a long time ago with the idea that if local business is gone, you only have a handful of choices. And they're all very large and very corporate. Going big is great, but you can't do that and sacrifice the people that are running our own communities.
Well, what really excites me is, we have been working so hard the last 4 years on all these social media platforms. We've talked about True Social X, all these places, but I was telling Susan, I never would have dreamed that we'd have an opportunity to have a conservative alternative to all the propaganda that's been out there. And thank God for OBBM Network TV. Amen. The fact that they're out there, and the fact that she can help guide us to help us understand how to effectively get our message out on TV, I just think is the coolest thing. And if we can tap into this, it's going to take our reach so much further than what we could do on social media. So
some of the relationships we've had so far, as I was mentioning to the guys before you guys all jumped on here, for instance, we've got people that have studios in your area that are saying, I want people to know that we have studios, and so that they can come in and they can do a show, they can get an advertisement done. So we can host this right here at our studio. And if you've got independent producers doing movies, they can use it. And I'm like, well, I know people out there. We've got motorcycle groups going across the country right now because they're addressing human trafficking, and they're teaching people as they cross the country on motorcycles what's going on with human trafficking. Well, if they're coming through Greenville and coming through Texas and going through Arizona, we want to know, right?
Amen. Any questions, guys? I want to make sure if there are thoughts, it doesn't have to be a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do have OBBM Network TV on my Roku. It's very easy to download, and I've watched some content on there, and it's cool that I like how you localize and focus on, specific cities and things like that. So, yep.
Thank
Good.
you. Got to get more of your interviews on there too. I really love how we were able to play with your brand graphics for Liberty Lounge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have any more of those, but there's some interviews that I've done that I could, if you wanted those, I mean, we could put those on.
You guys need to develop your channel. You're the people. You're the ones networking. You're the people standing for the values and you are standing in victory for the values in your community. And
well, Susan, this is actually amazing timing too, because Marcus Watkins, I know he would have loved to have been on this call. He's in Pennsylvania, and he has agreed today to help me truly launch a We the Patriots USA podcast. So I'm really excited to start to have regular. I said, I don't even know what I'm doing, Marcus. Can you help me figure this out? So with the whole Spotify and getting all the, but it's going to be great because he knows what he's doing, and that's going to be a blessing. So that will be really good quality interview content that I can start putting on the channel.
Yep, get that out there, and video is so important. If you know people running for office, I want to know about them. They need
Christian,
yeah.
Mark Burns.
Yeah, no, not Mark.
I mean, not Burns.
Mark Lynch.
Mark Lynch.
You both said Mark.
I just donated to his campaign today, so I'm fully behind him. He's awesome.
Oh yeah, Susan, we need to get him on your station somehow. Mark.
Yes, he's our hope to get Lindsey Graham out of office.
Oh man, no doubt. That's
right.
The thing. It's so bad, but we have got to do our part too of educating them. And so what I'm noticing is I'm talking with different mayors and people running for city council and that, asking them, do you know what home rule is? Do you know what that means for we the people? What is your community doing? And getting them to talk about it. And as they talk about it, it gives me an opportunity to kind of share some of the things that I've learned. And I'm telling everybody, guys, if you have not read your state constitution, you need to read it. That thing is supposed to be for you, just like our United States Constitution is for us. It's our document.
Yeah.
But our state constitutions also, and so many of them don't know it. And I can tell you, in the state of Texas, if you looked at our constitution right now, you'd be pretty disappointed for it to be such a red state. We have sold everybody down the river in bond debt. The whole thing is a debt instrument. And when you look and see how they've removed so many of the things in your own constitution and changed it and morphed it, you look at that thing today and go, whoa, needs work. Well, who's going to do it? I'm just a firm believer. And if knowing what you know, what will you do?
I have kind of an interesting question for you, Susan. What? So you're in all these states, you're in all these cities. When do you think you'll be in all 50 states? Kind of, I think dream big. If you're going to dream, might as well dream big. So when do you think roughly you could imagine being in all 50 states?
I think we'll be there this year. We're bringing on a new program. I've just designed it for fightvoterfraud.org. So that's pretty cool. Ways that we can really teach people what is working and what's not. But at the same time, as you look at these channels, we don't sound like OAN. The voice of our channels is really, really important. So it reflects something people want to watch, that they want to leave on. It's not a bunch of pissed off patriots. It's not just a bunch of angry people. This is some really good content. We've got a version of The View, but that comes out of Florida that's really fabulous, of conservative women talking about issues. We've got just all day long music therapists helping you understand everything about it's not just the lyrics that pound you. There's a way that music behaves that changes how you think and how you feel and how you emote. And he teaches us that on The Power of a Positive Playlist. It's just one of the most valuable shows out there. But there's so many things that when you watch it, we want people to look at those channels and go, whoa, somebody said that being conservative was a Nazi, violent, angry, blah, 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 and go, no, they couldn't possibly be that. When they see these, they see our community and go, man, this is really good. This stuff works. I want to be a part of that. So we're very careful about that voice and want to keep it loving, kind, and authoritative.
Absolutely. Katie, do you have any questions out there in California? Any thoughts?
Well, first of all, really amazing. And you asked a couple of things. One, you'd like to be introduced to a producer and church content. I know that our church in the last couple of years, they did the Real Life Network. So I don't.
Oh, Jack Hibbs. We carry Jack Hibbs.
Oh, okay. So you're
As a matter of fact, I'm going to meet him tomorrow. Yes.
At the broadcasters?
Yeah. Huh?
He's supposed to, in an hour, be speaking. He's the keynote to open it.
I know it, but there's just not that much Susan.
Okay. All right. So we already know about Jack Hibbs, which, I mean, I go to his church, but I'm one of thousands that go there.
Yeah, we actually work with his team and use a lot of the content from the Real Life Network. So those are really wonderful connections. So yes.
Okay. So I wasn't knowing how to connect you, but you're already connected. So, but I can always, try.
Oh, please. Yes.
And then a producer, I happen to have talked with a producer today. I was introducing him to a little bit about what my business does. And I just met him at an event somewhere, and I was just brave enough to call him and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, this, that, and the other. What I'm doing is not a fit for him, but he was actually very kind, very gracious. I don't know that much about him. I'm happy to give you his name and, give you a link to be able to set up a call. And if you do it quick enough, and if you said Katie Hall, he might remember me, because I really was just a person calling to see if this was a fit for him.
Yeah.
I don't know everything that he does. And he seems like a nice guy, but nice guys don't always equate to being a patriot. So would that be
how
helpful?
true? How true? How true? How true? How true?
But would that be a connection that would be helpful?
Yeah, make some connections.
I could get you the name, and then you could do the conversation part. Say, hey, Katie just thought of you. I just met her. I mean,
I'll tell you what,
he does
you
big
guys,
stuff.
yeah,
He's
you guys are
like
wonderful.
Friends, Fox and Friends, and he produces and publishes, and
those are the peeps, and we'll just decide, because we are not those major networks, and we make a distinction. We do want to make a distinction. This is local, and they don't want to get it. And I'll tell you something, you guys are in danger you're just being preyed on in a major way, especially right now, because they know that they lost the trust of local networks. And I get all the marketing, all the tech briefs, all the TV stuff, and I'm telling you, all the conversation is, how do we get back into local? What do we have to do to get local back? Because locals turned it off. And I'm going, you know what? Get away from my people. They don't need any more of your criminal garbage. Get out of here and let us design our own channel, something that truly is we the people, right? This is exactly that. So just give us the introduction, and I would love it. And eConnect sounds like you putting my name and, Susan at OBBMnetwork.tv and the other person's email, and then just the eConnect in the subject line, and send that out, and then we can work on it from there. I so appreciate all of those types of things.
yeah, perfect. I'm happy. I'm happy to do whatever.
We're interested in your brand. I will tell you that right now. I can imagine that is going to be very, very interesting. It would be a very good fit for OBBM.
Yeah, thank you. No, I agree. My wheels are turning. And then when you say that, I know I'm in California. Eric and Liberty Network have a channel, so I'm not super clear on what that means. Like, is it for his whole group, or is it just focusing on Eric and Jimmy with the networking? How does that work?
So on the business side, how that works is we build channel champions in every community that we can. And like I said, we identified about 330 of them across this country that we could really get in there and support. But we need somebody that can tell us and educate us about the flavor of that community, because it's going to be unique all over the country. So I need to know, who are those people that have that, who are talking about what? Who's talking about what? What's the local political scene in your community? What needs to get done? Some places we got to protect our land. Some places we got to protect our water. What are the things that really make the flavor and the voice of your community? What are those restaurants? What are those things that grandma passed down that are still being done really, really great at this restaurant over here? And they could use some press to get it, what are those things that reflect the flavor of that community? So when we have that in place, that person can earn commissions on the advertising sales in that community. And like you said, like I showed you earlier, it's pretty, depending on where that location is, it's pretty affordable. So the channel itself can look like an on-demand space, as I showed you when I showed you but that's not just Eric. Uh, Jimmy Sorrells is on there with Liberty Lounge. We've got Sean Patriots, because they are that area. But you're also going to find this other great content like TV for Dads and Jenny Seeking the Extraordinary and movies and documentaries that right now it's not a scheduled channel, but it only takes 2 advertisers to get that thing up and running where you've got somebody actually running that channel on a 24/7, making it really cool. We do movie nights where all the movies are free. And most of the movies are free anyway. The First Amendment Film Festival is really the only thing that we're charging for right now because those are independent producers and we ask people to purchase online so the money goes directly to them instead of going through Roku. But
so question for you, Susan, on Katie's behalf a little bit. So if she did a video about her business, maybe the why she's doing her business, that kind of thing, and she sends it to me, and I put it up there, or I send it to you, we can put that as just, even if it's not an official interview, correct? It could just be some content there.
Well, we could put it in the Greenville channel, and then we can also turn around and put it in San Diego. And as a matter of fact, Katie knows California. So if she's got areas that she can say, hey, this is where we need to be, that gives us insight. Where do we need to be in those communities? So those interviews, that's right, wherever you're serving, they can go. As a matter of fact, anything that Jimmy's doing, even with the Liberty Networking, wherever those channels are, those particular interviews can be additionally in those channels so people can see them in their community. Absolutely, Eric. I love what you're doing, and it makes sense. So as a matter of fact, that's exactly what I see for those small, because you do like the 1 and 2 minute interviews that are real short. That's perfect content that are PSAs in a 24/7 stream. Nobody's going to be telling you on OBBM Network to go put a mask on, but we might tell you where you ought to go to get your car taken care of, or what chiropractor to see, or who can do your artwork.
We don't have to wear a mask. That's good.
No, sir. No, sir, you don't. No,
You're
sir.
my new best friend.
I will always tell
you
you.
wouldn't be on this call if
No, I always felt like, if God, other people know he loves them by the way we treat each other. How could we hide our smiles? And just
Amen. Amen. Absolutely.
Some of us never fell for any of it.
Yes, you're my people. I knew it.
I told you you'd fit it right in here. Exactly.
I was put in Facebook jail so many times, it's not even funny.
Well, that Facebook, as soon as I can get you guys off of there, we will all be off.
We talked about that, exactly. Yeah.
My goodness, that Facebook. Don't know what they're up to, but they were a DARPA project and a lot before they started this. But all of those things, whether it's Truth and Gab and all of those, they need nurturing. They're just early baby networks. They're just like this. All of it, it needs, so the local community needs to see that there's something really for them. Don't you think that people have the wrong idea of what reach is? If you are going to reach everybody on YouTube and if that's what you're going to do, how far are you going? And how much of that's going to turn into business for you? And how much of that's really going to affect and impact what you're doing? It makes a whole lot more sense. Anybody in here do email marketing? Anybody? Nobody does email marketing?
No, I do email marketing, yes.
Well, then you know that if you're doing email marketing, you're better off to have a nice tight list of people that actually open it. And actually go, right?
Yeah,
engage with people that send you back the email that says, great job, I'm so glad to have heard from you. Matter of fact, if you would like, if Eric gets me your emails, I'll add you to our newsletters and you can see how we go about reaching the community with the content on OBBM. All of it is got a link. That's how you share stuff on social media. That's how you get your brand out there. But we tell people to go watch it on Roku. Go watch in the living room where you're not just on a website watching TV. No, go in the living room. Watch that with your family and your friends in your neighborhood. And start looking at TV differently.
Awesome. I think that concludes the questions. Thank you all so much. And Susan, thank you so much for doing this for
Thank
part
you.
one. We're going to have you back a lot of times to talk about this and get more folks.
Outstanding.
Absolutely. Well, God bless you all. Thank you for being on. And with that, we will conclude recording.